The best advice I ever got came from my father. Never sign anything you don't fully understand. At the time, I thought he meant boring stuff, like phone contracts or gym memberships. But that one line ended up saving me from losing my entire future. I run a small tech startup called Nexora, an app that helps small shops automate online orders. It started as a side hustle in my apartment, just me and a refurbished laptop. After 5 years of 16-hour days, rejections from investors, and living off instant noodles, we finally started gaining traction. A few big clients, some positive press, and suddenly investors were calling me for meetings. That's when Eli showed up. We went to college together, same dorm, same dreams. He'd gone into marketing while I buried myself in code. He reached out on LinkedIn saying he'd been following Nexora's progress and wanted to help us go big. We met for lunch, and he painted this beautiful picture of partnership. More investors, better branding, explosive growth. He was sharp, charming, and confident. Everything I wasn't. Within weeks, he was practically running investor calls and negotiating deals. I barely had time to review. He told me, "You handle the tech, I'll handle the business." It sounded perfect. Then one Friday night, he brought me a right stack of documents. "Partnership restructuring," he said casually, flipping through the pages. "Just legal cleanup. You'll still be the majority owner." I glanced at it but didn't really read. It was late, and he'd been nothing but helpful. My pen hovered over the signature line when my father's voice echoed in my head. "Never sign anything you don't fully understand." So instead, I told Eli I'd have my lawyer take a look. He laughed it off, said lawyers slow everything down, but I insisted. The next morning, I sent it to my attorney, Maya, who called me an hour later practically yelling, "Do not sign that. He's transferring 60% ownership to a new LLC registered in his name. Once you sign, he legally owns Nexora." My stomach dropped. I double-checked the fine print. Sure enough, Eli had buried the ownership clause in the middle of page 6. The man I thought was my business partner was trying to steal my company right from under me. Instead of confronting him immediately, I played it cool. I pretended to be swamped with work while quietly digging. Maya found that Eli had already met with 3 of my clients and 2 potential investors, pitching his version of Nexora under a new name, NexEQ. Same app, same branding, just with him as CEO. For 2 weeks, I documented everything. Screenshots of his emails, meeting invites, and pitch decks he'd forgotten to log. Then when he scheduled a meeting with a major VC firm, I decided it was time. I showed up unannounced at the investor meeting, walked in mid-pitch as Eli was introducing my software as his creation. The look on his face when he saw me could have powered the city grid. I calmly handed each investor a folder of evidence, trademark filings, original code timestamps, and corporation documents with my name on every line. "Gentlemen," I said, "I'm the founder of Nexora. This man is attempting to sell stolen IP." Eli tried to spin it, stammering about miscommunication, but the investors weren't buying it. Within 24 hours, he was fired from every account he managed. I filed a formal complaint, and my lawyer sent him a cease and desist, along with notice of pending legal action for fraud and attempted theft of intellectual property. Turns out, Eli had pulled the same stunt 2 years earlier at a startup in Austin, got caught, left town quietly, and reinvented himself somewhere else. When the dust settled, my reputation actually improved. The investors I thought I'd lost came back, impressed that I'd handled the situation professionally instead of blowing up. A few even doubled their offers. Nexora tripled its revenue that quarter. Eli disappeared, and every time a new deal hits my desk, I still hear my father's voice before I even pick up a pen. Never sign anything you don't fully understand.